Following the leak of the audio tape where Rashtriya Swatantra Party's parliamentarian Dhaka Kumar Shrestha is heard demanding a bribe of 20 million rupees, members of the House of Representatives have demanded formation of a parliamentary committee for investigation into the matter. Good evening, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Members of the House of Representatives demand formation of an investigation committee to probe the 20 million bribe demanded by Rashtriya Swatantra Party lawmaker, urged for dialogue between Kathmandu Metropolis and the government. Prime Minister Pushpakumar Dahal assures of including new and effective projects in the policies, programs and budget of the upcoming fiscal year, says homework is underway for the same. China firmly opposes a visit by India's Home Minister to Arunachal Pradesh, views his activities in the area as violating Beijing's territorial sovereignty. And Oman, the first among foreign teams to arrive in Nepal for the ACC Premier Cup, preparations underway for practice matches before the beginning of the tournament. Members of the House of Representatives have demanded investigation into the bribe of 20 million rupees demanded by parliamentarian of Rashtriya Swatantra Party, Dhaka Kumar Shrestha. Addressing today's session of the House of Representatives, lawmakers demanded the formation of a parliamentary committee for investigation into the bribe demanded by Rashtriya Swatantra Party parliamentarian Shrestha. Dhanaraj Gurung of Nepali Congress has demanded parliamentary investigation into the issue where Shrestha demanded 20 million rupees to be appointed as a minister. Prem Suwal of Nepal Workers and Peasants Party had also questioned about the involvement of the parliamentarian in the scandal. Meanwhile, parliamentarian of Rashtriya Swatantra Party, Santosh Pariyar, informed about the party's investigation into the case. Also addressing the parliament session, Nepali Congress General Secretary Gagan Thapa drew the government attention towards addressing the dispute between the Kathmandu Metropolis and the federal government at the earliest. Other parliamentarians demanded investigation into the topic about fake Bhutanese refugees. The members of the House of Representatives have also demanded actions against those involved in construction of Summit apartment in Wakhundo, Lalitpur against the criteria. Rashtriya Prajatantra Party's Roshan Kharke and Rashtriya Swatantra Party's Ashim Shah also called for immediate action from the government in this regard. Prime Minister Pushpakumar Dahal has said that large-scale projects are to be included in the policies, programs and budget of the upcoming fiscal year. Addressing the 72nd General Assembly of the Nepal Chamber of Commerce, Prime Minister Pushpakumar Dahal said that new and large-scale projects are to be taken forward from the budget of the approaching fiscal year. He informed of work in progress to prioritize new policies and programs. He further clarified that such policies, programs and budget would ensure prosperity of the country. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Home Affairs Narayan Kazi Shrestha has said that he himself was not satisfied with the performance of the government in its first 100 days. Speaking with journalists at Chitwan earlier this morning, Minister for Home Affairs Shrestha stated that the government failed to perform to expectations in the first 100 days because of change in political equation and delay in the expansion of the Council of Ministers. In another context, Minister Shrestha said that investigation was underway into the audio tape of Rashtriya Swatantra Party parliamentarian Dhaka Kumar Shrestha, where he is heard of asking for a bribe of 20 million rupees. He further added that the Ministry of Home Affairs was always prepared to assess the local levels. The victims of the loan sharks and the government have held a dialogue at the Ministry of Home Affairs. In the meeting at the Ministry of Home Affairs, the victims of loan sharks have presented a 6-point demand with the government. The demands of the victims include terming all fake documents related to such loans illegitimate by the Council of Ministers, compensations for the victims, and delay of court procedures related to cases against such loans until the implementation of new laws. The victims of loan sharks, who had been protesting for the past 5 days at Shanti Patika after arriving in Kathmandu from several parts of the country, had formed an 18-member dialogue team yesterday. Lalitpur Metropolis has begun operation of a 24-hour hotline and municipal police service for immediate rescue of victims of sexual violence. Lalitpur Metropolis has begun operation of the hotline number 1131 along with municipal police service to curb incidents of sexual violence. According to Lalitpur Mayor Chiri Babu Maharjan, service will be provided within 4 minutes of a grievance related to sexual violence being filed. According to Samachar, emergency centers are being set up at Bungumati, Gwarko and Thapakhel in Lalitpur to facilitate and ease the service. The tower constructed in Pastor headquarters FIDEM at an investment of 40 million rupees is yet to come into operation. The 40-feet view tower built by the New City project at FIDEM municipality, Ward number 2, Romite Dada, has not come into operation as it is yet to be opened for public. The view tower was constructed 3 years ago with the objective of promoting domestic tourism. Places of Pastor headquarters FIDEM, Hilihang, Kumayak and Falgunananda of the district, including some parts of neighboring districts Taplejung, Teruthum and Thankuta, are seen from the view tower. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
The question is, what should be done to attract youths towards agriculture? Your options are A. Pro-agriculture policy, B. Facilitate loan service, and C. Manage market. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for the international news. China firmly opposes a visit by India's Home Minister to Arunachal Pradesh and views his activities in the area as violating Beijing's territorial sovereignty, a Foreign Ministry spokesperson told the news briefing. China has renamed some places in what India regards as its eastern state of Arunachal Pradesh, which China claims as part of its territory. In a response to a question on the visit by Indian Home Minister Amit Shah, spokesperson Wang Wenbin said that the Indian official's visit to Jiangnan violated China's territorial sovereignty and was not conducive to the peace and tranquility of the border situation. China and India have had several skirmishes over the disputed border, and clashes in the mountainous regions in recent years have seriously strained ties. The Kremlin has said that China had every right to respond to what it called repeated provocations against it and carry out military exercises around Taiwan. Beijing on Monday carried out the last of 3 days of drills around Taiwan, including practicing aerial and naval blockade maneuvers of the island, which China views as part of its own territory, something Taiwan's government strongly disputes. In a call with reporters, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said everyone should respect China and its actions, which were in line with international law. Peskov also suggested that France, whose President Emmanuel Macron visited China for talks last week, could not broker a peace in Ukraine, as Paris was both indirectly and directly involved in this conflict on the side of Ukraine. During his visit to China, Macron called on Chinese leader Xi Jinping to bring Russia back to its senses over Ukraine. Meanwhile, Kremlin has also said that there was a general tendency to blame Russia for things when asked about accusations that Moscow was responsible for a major leak of U.S. intelligence documents about a number of countries, including Ukraine. The U.S. national security community is grappling with the fallout from the release of dozens of secret documents, including the impact on sensitive information sharing with the government and ties with other countries. China's military stepped up drills around Taiwan, according to state broadcaster CCTV. China's military carried out aerial and naval blockade drills around Taiwan, its last scheduled day of exercises, with a Chinese aircraft carrier joining in combat patrols as Taipei reported another surge of warplanes near the island. The Chinese state television reported that multiple aircrafts, including nuclear-capable H-6 bombers armed with live missiles and warships, were deployed during drills to form a multi-directional island encompassing blockade situation. China announced the 3 days of drills on Saturday after Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen returned to Taipei following a meeting in LA with U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Kevin McCarthy. China views democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory and has never renounced the use of force to bring the island under Beijing's control. Taiwan's government strongly disputes China's claims and has denounced the drills. The Guatemalan government should cut ties with the Taiwan region and establish diplomatic relations with China so as to bring greater opportunities to the country and its people, according to members of society in Guatemala. After the Taiwan region's leader Tsai Ing-wen concluded her trip to Guatemala and Belize on Friday, Guatemalan people expressed their views that normalized relations between their country and China would bring wider benefits. Guatemala is currently the only Spanish-speaking country in Central America that has not established diplomatic relations with China. After its neighbor Honduras severed diplomatic relations with the Taiwan region on March 25, there are now only 13 countries left who hold formal diplomatic relations with Taiwan. The Dalai Lama has apologized after outrage over a video of him kissing a child on the lips and asking him to suck his tongue. The top Buddhist spiritual leader apologized to the boy and his family with his team, saying he often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way. The viral video showed the Dalai Lama kissing a young boy on the lips and touching foreheads with him. Then the leader sticks out his tongue and says if he could suck his tongue. The video triggered a huge backlash, with Twitter users denouncing it as disgusting and unbecoming. The Nobel Peace Prize winner had earlier apologized in 2019 for controversially saying if his successor were to be a woman, she should be attractive. Beijing has accused the Dalai Lama of fomenting separatism in Tibet, and it does not recognize the Central Tibetan Administration (CTA), which represents about 100,000 exiled Tibetans living in around 30 countries, including India, Nepal, Canada, and the United States. Welcome back. It is now time for the sports news.
Sports news.
Team Nepal are to play a practice match against Oman before the beginning of the ACC Premier Cup. Now, Oman are to arrive Nepal today for the tournament. Of the 10 nations set to compete at the tournament, Oman are the first foreign side to arrive in Nepal. Team Oman had announced a 14-member squad led by skipper Zishan Maksud last week. Nepal and Oman are placed in Group A at the tournament. The group also includes Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Malaysia. The tournament begins on the 18th of April, while Nepal play Oman on the 21st of April. Nepal had last played Oman back in 2022 at the ICC World Cricket League 2 series. Oman had proposed for at least one practice match before the tournament, and the Cricket Association of Nepal has begun preparations for the same. The practice match is likely to be held on the 15th of April. Meanwhile, Bahrain, who are placed in Group B, have also proposed for a practice match against Nepal, for which preparations are underway for the 13th of April. That is all for the moment. Our next English bulletin is at 10:30 p.m. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.